All right, and we are back after a
Back.
little bit of a break.
More tan than ever.
Yeah, you look nice and tan. I did get a tan. I think it's this light or something.
Yeah,
Makes me look like I'm pale as a ghost.
Yeah, you look pasty.
Yeah, I'm actually sunburnt, so it's definitely the light. So
Yeah.
speaking of being sunburnt,
I think you only look like shit and don't sound like shit.
yeah. Well, part of the reason we did not have an episode last week is Malcolm, as we said in the last episode, was out of town, and we were supposed to record early. And the day of, I actually almost died. So I went golfing with my dad, and my back is fucked up. So it wasn't really like golfing.
Yeah.
It was mostly just being outside.
Yeah, you kind of gave me a preview to this. It's like it sounds like you and MJ's dad have something in common now.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. So we played some golf, and here in Florida, it's hot in the summer, but it really wasn't like crazy hot or anything. It was like in mid-90s, but out in the sun all day, didn't wear sunblock, was drinking a little bit of Gatorade. I think I had a drink or two or something. I don't know. And at the 18th hole, I'm like, man, I'm feeling like I'm about to have a heat stroke. Like I just felt dizzy and weird. And then it was
Like,
strange.
How many? Like one or two or?
Oh,
No, sorry, that was
16.
a golf joke.
Yeah. So anyhow, I end up leaving, and I go straight to the gas station, and I get a bag of beef jerky because I'm like, I haven't eaten all day. That's what it is. I haven't eaten, and I did chug like a huge Red Bull before we played. So because this is like 9 o'clock in the morning, so this isn't like this is the middle of the day or anything like that. So I get a water and some beef jerky, and I get on the highway. And then, like, I don't know, I just wake up on the side of the road in my car, not just laying on the side of the road. But I'm on the side of the road in my car. There's throw up everywhere. I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
I completely, legitimately just blacked out, right? And then somehow, I guess I drove home, and then I woke up, and it was like 5 or 6 o'clock, and I had no idea where I was. I was in my bed, and I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what time it was, what day it was. I didn't know what happened. And you're texting me like, are we recording or what? And I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I thought I wrecked my car. I didn't know what happened. So, and then even the next like day or two, I still was just out of it. But
It sounds like sexual assault to me.
yeah,
But,
that's what that first question you asked was, how did your butthole feel? So butthole
Yeah.
feeling nice and tight. Nothing like
Yeah.
that happened. Thankfully, I didn't get Cosby'd.
Yeah. Or, yeah.
Well, how was your weekend?
My weekend was great, dude. It was on a lake, at these people's giant house, and got to go on 2 boats, pontoon and the wake boat. But something kind of interesting happened too. Is like, so we're out there on the pontoon, just having a good time. Lake's kind of full, and then just out of nowhere, dude, we were in the middle of a Trump boat parade.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty. Was that like a national thing, or?
I think so. Yeah.
I seen some shit in Clearwater that was like, holy fuck. We thought the shit we were in the middle of was big, and then I seen the stuff in Clearwater. I was like, damn.
Yeah, they don't play around. I think Pence was in Clearwater, so that's why they did the little boat parade. But
Yeah, there's like a black family too, like in the middle of it, like taking video. I'm like, are they in this? Are they not in this? Are they in this a bad way or a good way?
yeah. Do we need to help them? Yeah.
They had their cell phones out, so I don't know. And it was
All
like,
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you survived.
I
Barely.
survived the Trump boat parade. Yes, I did. And
Nice.
I attempted a little wakeboarding, and that's just like, I've done it before, but you got to be, young and limber. It's not
yeah.
fun. This one dude we were with, he goes the third time he gets up, he just eats shit. It is gnarly. Gets up. He's like, his back's all fucked up. He's like, I think it was when I came up. It's like, no, dude, you did a front flip and jammed your head into the water. It was so crazy. Trying to play it out, so I thought it would be all right. It's like,
yeah. Okay.
done. Back's fucked.
See, it's interesting because, like, we're not old men by any means, but we're not young men either. And just something as simple as going golfing, like I said, the next day I wake up and I feel like I'm 80. You know what I mean? So I can't imagine wakeboarding what that guy was doing like the next day.
Falling asleep in random places like you're 80.
with vomit everywhere, no idea where I am, wearing a diaper.
Exactly. Yeah. Or in a fucking full white fucking uniform. Fucking, oh, man.
All right, so we survived. So good on us. Let's hop into some of these emails. We did get again. We love all the support and all the emails.
Yeah.
Again, follow us at scam_podcast on Twitter and Instagram, podcastgame@gmail.com to send us emails. And we appreciate all the emails, but some of them we're not gonna answer. One of them we got this week, Malcolm, was
People talking shit or what?
no. I mean, we haven't really gotten any of that. We just got like some bad questions. Some dude emailed us to rank the characters in the show Jackass. Just rank them.
The characters, they're real
They're
people.
real people. Oh no, I guess Johnny Knoxville.
And what's
Steve-O.
the criteria? Just
There's
my
no criteria. That was the question.
My personal favorite. That's it. Like,
Who do you
are
got?
we-
We're
are
going to
we-
answer it, I guess.
or we're talking about like stunt wise, you know?
You didn't give me a lot of info, so I'll let
Yeah.
you fill in the blanks there. I guess Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O is great. Maybe them and Bam was funny. I don't know.
However, they're getting paid. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah. All right, so we got a few emails here. This one's probably my favorite. It said, "Hey guys, you were talking about ugly Tina on last episode, and growing up, we had ugly and tall Beth in our neighborhood. What do you guys think is the unsexiest name possible for a man and a woman? Keep up the good work." And then he or she signed off with, "I'm not telling you my name."
Oh shit. That'd be funny if it's theirs. Damn, the ugliest. Yeah, so what are we doing? The ugliest names, male and female?
Yep.
All right. Well, what do you got? You got one
I
off the top of your head?
So that's
That
the thing.
sounds pretty fucking terrible.
Well, I felt like it was unfair for some of these questions that I got to read them first. So I've been pretty much just like one proofread through and then not thinking about them. So I didn't really put a lot of thought into it. But a name like for a guy, maybe like Larry, it's just like a terrible
Yeah.
name. It's not sexy.
Yeah, or Gary.
Gary, Larry. Imagine you're a girl and you have to scream his name out, like say my
Yeah.
name, Larry. Like that's not happening.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about like.
Oh, I got one for the girls. All right, so I have my two. Larry for the men, and then for Larry Gary for the men. For females, it's got to be Cheyenne. It's got to be Cheyenne.
Damn, you get on them hard, dude. Definitely not getting any listeners from Cheyenne. And we're talking all this shit. I live like within a driving distance, so they're gonna kill me, dude. Some fucking cowboy. For the woman, I don't know, man. Beth is pretty good. You know, I feel like Tina can go. Well, Tina in particular.
Yeah,
You know, not Christina, but when you start shortening it down to Tina, you know,
yeah, that's tough.
it's a little different.
Now the thing with Beth, I just don't understand because Liz is right there. Your name's Elizabeth. Liz, Lizzie.
How about like Susan or like Susan?
Oh, that's bad. All right, so we got it. What do you have for
Yeah.
men? What'd you pick for men?
I could go with like a Gary or a Philip. You know,
Ooh,
something
Philip
like that.
is terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
You gotta go by Phil. You gotta go by Phil.
Yeah,
Or Philly.
exactly.
You can't go by Philip.
Yeah, yeah.
That hurt me to say.
I know, exactly. Dude. You're just like, you know what? Fuck this dude.
Yeah, exactly. If your name's Philip, as soon as I meet you, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna like this guy. All right. So thank you for your question, male or female with no name. That's great that he was like, I'm not telling you my name. His name's probably fucking Philip. All right.
I was thinking the same shit.
So the next one we have is this one's interesting. What movie did you see as a kid, or what scene from a movie scarred you? Like, what scene do you have nightmares about still and kind of freaks you out? From Francis, which could be a guy or a girl. I'd assume a girl. So I have an answer for this one.
Like as a kid,
Yeah.
for me it's easy. It was Chucky, dude. Chucky always did it for me.
Oh, yeah? That does it for a lot of people. People just don't. I guess.
I feel like people can understand like a full grown man coming to murder them.
Yeah.
But, like something about a doll. It's not cool, dude.
Yeah. Like, especially if you have, like, if you grew up with a sister. I grew up with a sister and they have dolls and shit. And you're at night, they're just
Yeah.
laying on the ground and
Staring
you were
at you.
you close your eyes and you open them and it moved a little bit. You think you're like, was that there? Was that right there? Was his foot
Yeah.
touching the couch? You know, so for me, it was this movie called Fire in the Sky. Have you ever seen it?
I have not.
Okay, so it's based on a true story of a pretty famous alien abduction. But in the movie, they were like super graphic about this guy's abduction, right? It's with I think it's with Tim Robbins. I'm not 100% sure, but he was like a lumberjack out in somewhere in over by you, maybe like Colorado or something. But he gets abducted and he's in like this like ball, like looks like a like maybe like the womb of like a pregnant woman, and he
Yeah.
busts out and there's all these creepy aliens touching him and prodding him with shit, and they give him like an anal probe. It's creepy, man. It is creepy.
And
And
when did you watch this? How old were you?
that's what I was getting to. I think I was like 7. I think my parents, because
Seven?
I guess it was a pretty popular movie. I think my parents like rented it from Blockbuster, and I like fell asleep on the couch, and like I woke
Yeah.
up to that scene. I woke up and that's what was happening on the TV. So I haven't seen the movie since.
The
And I don't think
thumbnails
I
on this
ever will.
are pretty good. This dude looks like he's like suffocating inside of a condom or something. I
That's
don't
what it
know.
looks like. Yeah, yeah. He's in like
Yeah.
a big bubble, and then he gets out and he climbs around the ship, and he's seeing all kinds of weird shit. It's all dark and weird lighting, and it's creepy, man. It is creepy. So
Every photo is just like these pictures of people like with
yeah,
some shit over their face, and like it just looks horrible.
it is. It is. I mean, I would recommend anybody. I think it's got to be that scene's got to be on YouTube.
What's
Just that
the
scene.
production value on this? Is it cheap? Is it just
No, it was-
cheesy?
I mean, it was the early '90s, but it was good. That was the thing. It looked realistic, which is made it more terrifying. So that's the one for me. I can't think of really anything else, but that one definitely. I won't watch that fucking movie. I don't think I could sit through it. Just creepy.
Yeah.
All right.
Chucky's still, I don't know. I haven't watched those 90s ones in so long, but it seems like they'd be a little cheesy now just because
Yeah,
the
for
special
sure.
effects and shit. But who knows?
You'd be surprised though. There's a few, like the first Jason movie, Friday the 13th.
See,
He's
those
only in it.
Freak me out though.
I know, yeah, same. It's not really scary, but they still look decent because they didn't do special effects. Everything was like real. you
Yeah.
know? Just like the original,
Really
the original
murder those
Star.
people?
Yeah, he really kills people. The original Star Wars movies, they used like real props. There's some scenes obviously where they're in space and they're using like but they didn't use CGI. They used like they built things and built.
Is there like
sets and stuff.
claymations and shit like that?
Exactly. So it still
Yeah.
looks realistic now. Whereas if you look at a movie from like the early 2000s, those movies that they did all CGI, they look fucking terrible because it's so outdated
yeah.
already.
Like Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus? How about that one? That one's
Hey.
so good.
Yeah.
Pure
So you-
comedy.
Do you remember when we were in college and we like we bought those movies and the movies were terrible. Obviously, it was like a joke, the Mega Shark
Yeah.
versus Octopus. But do you remember us reading the Google reviews?
Oh yeah,
they were-
that's right.
They were all like everybody was sarcastically giving them 5 stars. Those were
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
They were clowning on it. It was so
Yeah,
good.
There's that
But
one
the-
scene where they're just literally like pouring liquids into another liquid. Like,
Yeah.
and that's supposed to be like the science to beat.
They were in the submarine scene too. It's just like it looks like pure cardboard for like the red button, green button, blue button. It's like how do they know what any of this shit does, dude? There's no gauges, no labels. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh man. All right. So I don't know how we got off on that.
But
Next,
jokes on us because that's from that there was like 13 sequels.
of
with all
course,
these
they made a ton of money.
B-list celebrities, and it was just turned into a.
There's
comedy.
one with Conan O'Brien and Tara Reid are like
Yeah.
in a movie. So
Conan O'Brien's in it.
Conan O'Brien's in one. Yeah.
I remember the most ridiculous. I don't know if it was. I think it might have been in the first one, where the shark just jumps out of the water and like grabs like a
The Golden Gate Bridge. He
set-
just takes a
the-
bite out
all
of the Golden Gate Bridge.
There's that, and then like one of them's a plane out of the water. It's like 35K in the air, just snaps out, just so crazy.
So there was those, and do you remember there was like the ones that was like Sharknado? And it was like that's not a tornado. That's a Sharknado. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Those are great, and those are listed under like science fiction. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So next question we have from our emails is: we saw Josh's dog. Does Malcolm have any pets? He looks like he could be a cat lady. And the chick
Same.
flick you were thinking of with Ryan Reynolds is called Definitely Maybe. That was the name of the movie I was trying to think of. And it says, thanks, Melly. So thank you, Melly, another female. So do you have any pets, Malcolm?
Cat lady just getting disrespected on here. No, I don't have a dog. I want a dog, but it's just can't because it's a commitment. It's a long commitment.
I think you technically do still have a dog.
I still have a dog. My mom has
Yeah.
my dog.
Yeah.
She's had her for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's tough when you specifically moving all over the place. You can't really just bring
Mhm.
it with you either. So
exactly. It's just a hassle.
all right. So that's that for the emails. Thank you guys, everybody. We will obviously be back on either Thursday or Friday to record, so send us more. We'd love to answer them for you, but let's jump right into it. Lots happened since we last talked. To jump into the sports world a little bit here, the Big Ten and the Pac-12 canceled their college football seasons.
You think they're all going to fall or what?
Got to. There's no way they play.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about this with a friend. It's just like, who's the national champ? You know, nobody played. We we played our whole season, so we're the champs, dude.
This is what I was worrying about originally, right? Everybody was going to play still, and they were talking about doing 10-game seasons in your conference only, right? So I'm thinking like, okay, cool. So the American Conference with UConn plays fucking nobody. They go undefeated, and Florida loses one game to Georgia, but they're not undefeated, so they don't get in the playoff. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Especially like now the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are out. I don't get how you can justify these other teams getting a spot at the playoff. The only way I could see it is if they do whatever conferences play, and then they just pick two teams like they used to play in the championship. But even then, that's not right because the strength of schedule doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. I think that obviously I'd love to have college football. I just don't see it being realistic. And plus, all these top guys are going to opt out anyway. Why even risk it for this year? You know what I mean? Just go straight to the NFL next year. I think it kind of sucks because they should have made. I wish they would have acted sooner, and then maybe had a way that these college kids could have. Training camp just started for the NFL. You know what I mean? They could have had some of these guys sign, or even do another draft. Who knows? But now they're gonna have to sit out an entire year for no reason. That sucks.
And how about the high school level? These kids ain't. Are they playing? Because
no,
if they. I don't know. Actually, the Ohio governor came out and said, like, nah, fuck it. They're all going on. Everybody's playing sports.
Well, in North Carolina, they went back to school, and that lasted like less than a week. They already closed schools again. So
yeah, we'll see what happens.
It sucks because you got to remember it's college football. These guys, if you're not going to school, if the school is closed, like I get that the sport still makes a ton of money, and to me, that's what it is at the end of the day. It has nothing to do with the safety of these kids. They can give a fuck about the safety of these kids. It's about money. They can't have fans in the stands. They're not getting, going to get these big games with two conferences opting out already. So I mean, it just doesn't make financial sense for them to lose money this year. Whereas with these pro teams, they can take they make so much money. They're paying these guys. These guys want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they can take 1 year. They take a little bit of a hit.
It's not forced labor in the NFL. Like
exactly.
They're signing up to do it. I'm sure they don't have to if they don't want to.
Yeah, a lot of guys did opt out of the NFL as well.
CSU's basically. I mean, I don't know if you heard about this, but they're pulling that. They're trying to, basically get a boycott going because they're like, "Fuck this, we ain't getting paid. We need to get paid." I was talking about this. I think it'll be messy, but I don't know. This could be the year like where college sports or college football and basketball in particular branch off from the university.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's just an amateur league. They still got the name and shit, maybe the stadium, but they're just you don't have to go to school.
I just don't know. And someone brought up a good point. This college athletics has a lot of issues, but someone made a great point where they're saying, well, what exactly does the NCAA do? They're not the ones that told the Big Ten and the Big
collect all the TV revenue.
Exactly. They didn't cancel the season. These conferences decided to cancel the season. They haven't made any ruling on anything. They haven't done anything for player safety. They haven't done anything. They just collect the money. So why the fuck are these schools even associated with them?
Yeah.
Why are these kids getting out there risking life and limb?
It's dumb because
it doesn't make sense.
I mean, come on. Most of these ballers, they ain't going to school. There's people going to class for them, doing papers for them. It's like, let's just fucking.
It's not everybody. Some of these kids do go to school, and they, but there are a lot. There are a lot of them that don't.
You're right. It's the ones that are
proven
make it to the next level.
Exactly.
They're doing it for them.
So that stinks. I do hope that there's college football. I'm just not very optimistic for it. It sucks because we're both Gator fans, and they both, this was the year. Trask is back. They looked good last year. They got the coach, they got the players, and there's no fucking season, so it doesn't matter.
Our buddy was sold, man. He was telling me, I'm going. I got tickets to FSU Miami. I'm like, what are you talking about? You going to Miami FSU, dude? It's not happening.
No,
bro, they're already practicing. No, they're not.
Okay. Well, they are doing like open team workouts and stuff, but that doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean anything.
We all see where it's going.
Exactly. That's all. There's not going to be fans. Like, what are you thinking?
Exactly.
They actually just right before we got on to record, they announced that no fans in the NFL in September.
I heard Jerry was like, fuck
Jerry
it.
doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. Jerry Jones is like, we're gonna have fans, and I don't, they
Yeah.
can sit on top of each other for all I care. I don't give a
See,
fuck.
that's interesting. It's like, if they let fans in, what do they do? Like, what if they don't make them pay? And it's just like, you can come. We're not gonna make you pay.
No, they're gonna make them pay. Why would they let them in if they're not gonna make them pay? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
If they're having fans, they're going to be
'Cause it's
paying
Jerry.
to sit there.
Like,
Exactly, he wants that money.
yeah.
What's interesting? What's other thing is interesting to
Oh,
me?
yeah. You know what's funny is he put that $1 billion up himself for that
Yeah,
stadium.
He did, yeah. So what's interesting to me too, with the thing about it goes back to it's all about the money is college sports, right? They think it's unsafe for 50 kids who get tested daily, who have something to lose if they are irresponsible and they get sick, they can't play, they can't show off, maybe they lose draft stock if they don't
Yeah.
play. So they have to be responsible, right? There's a reason for them to want to act responsibly. They're getting tested every day. They're getting the best medical they can get in there from their college, right? That's unsafe. But for these 3,000, 4,000 students on campus it doesn't matter if they get sick or not. They don't have anything to lose other than they can't go to class. They're allowed to be on campus. These guys, they're still having in school or on campus learning. And like UNC already closed down because they had 174 cases in the first 2 days. So it's like, you can't have both. You can't have either. You know what I mean? It's one. You can't have football. That means you can't have school. You can't have one and not the other. It doesn't make sense to me. So,
And all the shit that happens, there's all this social unrest and the cops and all this shit. If there's no football, that probably scares me the most.
Yeah,
in this whole country.
yeah.
Like
That's why I think the NFL will go, but
I think it has to go. I've been doing
exactly.
I've been doing a take with a couple of my friends. Shit, obviously, it's all anecdotal, but it seems like general consensus, no matter where you are on the political spectrum or anything at all in life, race, color, creed, it's just like, if there's no NFL, like, that's it. We're going.
So speaking to the civil unrest a little bit, we talked about this off of air, about this unemployment thing.
Yeah,
And I mean, has there ever been a time where it was so clear that the government doesn't give a fuck about you? Has there ever been a time where it's been this clear where they're just like, don't care, go homeless? They said there's going to be 1 million homeless people in California by the end of the year. By the end of the year, that's like 3 months from now. 4 months from now.
I was just reading up about this because it's the people with the rent that they're kicking out, right?
Yeah.
And some mortgages, because I seen the HUD is not allowed to kick people out of, like, put people in foreclosure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little different from the last one, the
Yeah.
last financial crisis, because they pretty much just told you to get fucked and you
Yeah.
can be on the street. But yeah, I mean, they got it. It's Congress. I mean,
You got to remember too, though.
they got to come to a compromise.
You got to remember too, though. Last time when we had this financial crisis in 2008, everything was still operating. There were still jobs that were producing. It just the housing market was it was such a big deal. The housing market's a big part of the economy. It's a big part of everyone's everyday life. Because that crashed, it caused this chain reaction of things to happen. But there were still things operating at a high level. People rebounded quicker.
Mhm.
This is something that could go on
But
for years before we're
they
rebounded.
They kicked the can down the road the last
Yeah,
financial
exactly.
crisis. They bailed everybody out. They just put it on to the next guy, dude. And that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
But
And that's honestly what they need to do now. And they just choose. They're like, we draw the line here at the worst possible time.
the thing is, it's got the problem. The bubble has gotten so big that yeah, they could do it again, but it's gonna burst sometime in the next year, and it's gonna be.
Well, you need to put it. I mean, if they don't do anything, though, it'll burst now. I mean, you're already seeing it with these people that are getting kicked out of their homes. There's people starving. I mean, it's one thing, and we talked about this ad nauseum already, but like the $600 is such a little amount of money.
Yeah.
For them to be nickel and diamond people is so crazy to me. Like, I understand if they're giving you, like we said before, like $2,000-$3,000 a week, that's in excess. You don't need that.
Yeah.
But $600 a week is peanuts compared to these guys that are making fucking
Jamie
making the laws.
Jamie Dimon gets billions for nothing, and commits fraud openly with the money.
Yeah,
They're like $600. You ain't
yeah, you out of your mind. Yeah,
fucking crazy.
So the other thing is, and people are not understanding too, is with the Trump executive order. Like, obviously, that's a good thing, more money in people's pockets. But first of all, that's not going to take effect until they would already have an agreement anyway. So it basically is meaningless. But he didn't extend it; he cut it in half, which is not great either. And it's
But that's-
barely more than what
there's
the
nothing right now.
Republicans were off. I know, but that's the thing. It doesn't matter that he signed it anyway because it won't take effect until after they're already going to have an agreement for the new one anyway. What
Yeah,
I'm hoping is for those people that are suffering and hurting right now that it will be retroactive and they can.
it is. It's supposed to be. I read the
See,
language
we'll
on it.
see. And the other thing is like they seem like they're willing to negotiate, but I don't think they realize how dire the situation is. They're taking off till after Labor Day, which
Dude.
is three weeks from now.
These people are
So-
so old and so rich.
Yeah,
They don't give a fuck how you feel.
no, they don't. And that's the thing. And again, I'm not really that critical of either Trump or Biden because I try to stay in the middle. But like that whole thing with him signing the executive order was a publicity stunt. It's like, look,
Yeah.
I'm giving people money. It's not. There's no material to that. It's not ever going to get to the hands.
But at
only
the
way
same
it
time,
would- it
when
would-
you're getting nothing, I think it's exposed to Congress on both sides more than
Of course,
anything. It's
for
just like
sure.
these people can't do any. There's literally
No.
we'd be better off with nothing because whatever.
We'd be
It's
better
fuck-
off if you left the. And this sounds so crazy. If you'd be better off if you let the just one person, like the president, decide those kind of things.
Yeah,
But
because you
can't.
could actually
You can't.
get a move.
Get it done.
Gridlock right now.
And what's crazy is both sides seem to want to help. They just don't realize, like I said, how dire it is. You can't take a vacation in the middle of these proceedings.
The only
it's so
way
crazy.
this can happen and work out is like if they hypothetically freeze everything,
Yeah,
freeze all debts, freeze all payments.
which seems like that may happen. So we'll see. I don't know how that works though. Why? That's the other thing.
Yeah, but and then you can't get information on it. That's the
I
problem.
know.
Like, is it frozen? Is it not?
Well, the other thing with me is like, it sucks for these landlords because some landlords are scumbags. I've had landlords that are scumbags in the past, but some of them aren't. Our rent here is paid.
Mm-hmm.
We're not part of. Luckily, we're able to pay the rent, but it's not his fault that all this shit is happening either. What if he's counting on that money? You know what I mean? What if it's like a individual homeowner who's renting out the house, and now you're like, hey man, sorry, we can't pay the rent. But
Yep,
other people,
yep.
but
But-
people can. Like, how come you can't kick them out? You know what I mean? So,
But yeah, well, and that's what it kind of exposes is like, if everybody knows that nobody has to pay, why the
Exactly.
fuck does anybody want to pay?
that's what I'm saying. So why am I
Yeah.
fucking paying for it? So.
Yeah.
On to the next thing. So we were talking about a few episodes ago about terrible commercials. So I tried to find it again. I saw this commercial. I was trying to find it again, and I cannot find it. It's a medicine for IBS, which is like irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the commercial is about it's this medicine so you can stop taking pills for irritable bowel syndrome, right? It's like, stop taking pills, blah, 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 blah. And it goes on and it says all these things. And it's like, get your life back. And this girl is like about to shit her pants and she has to like leave the room. And it's like all these terrible things. And at the end,
Yeah.
she's like, oh, so relieved. Now I can like play with my kids and not live in the
Yeah.
bathroom, you know?
It's the below shoulder shot too. It's always like from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
waist.
yeah. It's like, oh, you
Ooh,
know?
this person really got a shit.
They like zoom, they like X-ray in, and it's just all
Yeah.
red in there.
You've
You know?
never
So,
seen
yeah.
a face in that whole commercial. dude.
Yeah. So basically, that's what it is, right? And the whole thing, they say like 15 times, stop taking pills, right? At the end of the fucking commercial, it says in very tiny letters at the bottom, now in capsule form. So they want you to take pills to stop taking pills. I don't understand. I feel like my brain's
Yeah.
turned to mush. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the
Doesn't
purpose
matter.
of this
Just,
is to stop taking pills.
look, you're thinking too much. Just take this Xanax and then take your IBS syndrome.
Yeah.
Shit, dude. I actually didn't I send you a story or something? I don't know if it was fake or real. I mean, it sounds fake, but who fucking knows nowadays? It was like doctors say just putting the lithium in the water supply would just calm everybody down. It's like,
Yeah, maybe it would. Shit.
I mean, it would.
Hey,
That
we're-
would be.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I'm willing to try anything right now. Let's get nuts. You know what I mean?
Let's do something weird.
Yeah. Speaking of that, have you seen this movie with Mark Ruffalo called Dark Water?
No.
I recommend it. I watched it last night. It's pretty good, but it's about the gas company DuPont was basically poisoning like pretty much the entire world for the past like 40 years.
Yeah, they're a chemical company, right?
Yeah, chemical company.
That guy
But
that killed that wrestler.
I don't know about that.
They made a movie out of it with Channing Tatum and shit.
Oh yeah. Foxcatcher.
Yeah, that's
Foxcatcher?
that
Yeah.
DuPont guy.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, in this movie, they find out there's this thing called FPOA. It's basically like a synthetic carbon, and the whole movie is trying to figure out what this is because it's killing all these cows and it's in people's drinking water, right? Well, it's like a 8 times synthesized carbon, and what it is it's Teflon. So
Mhm.
originally, what Teflon was used for was in World War II. They put it on the tanks so they would repel water, so they wouldn't rust, right? So then, after the war, they're like, "What the fuck are we gonna do with all this Teflon?" And they decided, "Oh, let's make a skillet with Teflon, right?" So you can find a Teflon skillet in just about every American home. The problem is that element C8 or whatever,
It's highly toxic.
your body doesn't process it, so it just stays in your body and bounces around in there. So if you have it in your
Sweet.
body, you are going to get cancer, and it's great because 99% of humans, oh no, excuse me, 99% of all living creatures on the planet have some kind of C8 in their body directly because of DuPont. So I was like, oh, that's sweet. And then I looked at my cabinet. I have a fucking Teflon skillet that I've been using for years.
Everybody
So
has a Teflon. Every
I know.
skillet is made out of Teflon.
I know it's crazy, and the reason the whole movie's based on is that they've known since 1971 that this was killing people, and they just were like, we're not telling anybody. They make literally $1 billion a year, selling Teflon products.
It
So
reminds me of all these fucking commercials too. Like, look, the eggs don't burn. Like,
Yeah. Oh, in the movie they make fun of that because there's like, different commercials like that. There's different like advertisements in magazines that are saying it, and then
Yeah.
they even were
and it's safe too.
exactly. Well, DuPont was even paying people to go on like Good Morning America and be like, "Oh, that's fooey. Look, it makes it so much easier to cook. Why wouldn't you want this?" It's like, "Oh, I don't know, because maybe it's making my kids fucking have 3 legs when they get born."
So does that bring, bring up a fucking a low stakes conspiracy right there? That could have been one. Teflon shit's killing people, man. It all goes back to World War II, dog. You'd be like, this person's fucking nuts.
I know. And well, in the movie, right, Mark Ruffalo is like the lawyer who's fighting the case or whatever, and his wife thinks he's crazy. And there's one scene where she wakes up, it's 3 a.m, and she thinks there's a burglar because she hears this noise downstairs, and she runs downstairs and she's like, "They're poisoning us. They're poisoning the unborn baby." And he's throwing pans everywhere, and she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like
are you cute?
Oh man. So it kind of stinks that we didn't do our episode on Thursday because we did have some other topics we wanted to talk about. Specifically how Ben Shapiro's wife's pussy is extremely dry.
Dude, I couldn't even get through that, man. It was brutal.
So if you don't know, Ben Shapiro live read the lyrics of the Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion song WAP, which stands for Wet Ass Pussy.
Mhm.
And he read it, editing himself, and then he tweeted out after that his wife, who's a doctor, told him that wet pussy is a medical condition from a yeast infection, and that if your pussy's wet, then you have a medical issue. And people decided,
Bake me
like,
some bread.
Oh, God. So people came to the realization that Ben Shapiro's wife's pussy hasn't been wet. This is pretty much their entire marriage. So shout out to her for staying with him, but that's tough. If you haven't seen that clip, I would look it up. It's pretty funny.
So is he like the real life version of when Dave Chappelle does like the white face
Yes,
for the
absolutely.
wife swap?
Yeah.
That's definitely him.
And the way he was reading it was just like that.
It was just like, yeah.
So
It was like,
terrible.
wow.
Well, it's also funny because he's like a politics guy. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Mhm.
what are you doing? Your audience is like 50 to 60-year-old women at home, and what do you think is going to happen? You're going to go viral in a negative way. People are going to make fun of you. Sure,
He's
he brings
just
you some
so
publicity.
white, bro. You
He
know what I'm
is.
saying?
He's so nerdy.
Talk about being in a bubble. He's been in a bubble his whole fucking life, dude. Come on, man.
Oh man. So there's something that's been going on, and maybe some of our listeners will be able to notice it too after we mention it, that me and Malcolm have both separately realized and were able to bring to the attention last week. You messaged me saying that there was a Dr. Pepper shortage. And
Yeah.
so do you drink Dr. Pepper?
I don't drink Dr. Pepper, but I
Okay.
drink, its sister products. And I don't know. I just thought it was pretty. I just think it was pretty wild that this is even on the fucking news right now.
Oh, it was on the news.
Well, I mean, on Google and shit. I seen a couple news stories on it.
Okay. So my thing is I don't really drink a lot of soda or anything like that, but I do if I do drink soda, I'm like Dos Equis guy. When I do drink soda, I drink cherry
Yeah.
Coke. So that's like the
Yeah.
one I drink, right? So and I'll have it. I really have it for like whatever I'm drinking, mix it
Yeah.
with fucking Jameson or whatever. But it's been out of stock for like 2 months now. Every single store I've gone to, and I sent you the
Yeah.
pictures. It's just gone, right?
It's like
And
the
then-
vanilla extract or some shit that they can't
Must
get their
be a
hands on.
shortage, exactly. So that's out.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper's out. Cherry Coke, vanilla Coke, all that shit is out, right? So what's crazy to me is the fact that one, like you said, the vanilla extract, the one little thing has this chain reaction of things that are just causing them to be out of stock, right? So what happens if we're running out of fucking vanilla extract? What happens when we run out of, I don't know, like fresh drinking water or, I don't know, bread? Like, like
Yeah,
that's close, man. That shit's coming.
We're running out of I could see it in even just like the superstore or the grocery stores I go into it. It's just like everything's a little less stocked right now.
Exactly.
Whereas it used to be just piled all the way back.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Yeah.
It's also a lot of that too is with the distribution and delivery and stuff too. Like there's shit that I've ordered months ago that hasn't arrived yet. I ordered a fucking Tom Brady Bucks jersey the day he signed with the Bucks. Its expected delivery date is October 15th.
Well,
I ordered it in March. That's like 5 months. Like, what are we doing?
We're in the midst of deglobalization. That's what's going on.
I think so too.
So, not to say it's a good or bad thing, but that's what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm sure you want, not everybody wants a 5-year-old kid making their jerseys. So,
hey, I don't give a fuck as long as it's nice and red and it says Brady on the back. Ship that bitch over. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But it does suck because small potatoes with everything else going on, but it shows you just how fragile the whole system is that they all everything's breaking down like this. It's so crazy. And I was listening to Rogan the other day. I can't remember who he had on, but he's like, it's one thing for the communities and the citizens to not be ready for this, but these companies should have had a plan. Nobody had a plan for something like this.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Offshore the money more. Like that's it, dude. That's the only
Don't
plan.
get it, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of people with plans, I was driving through where I live out here in Orlando, and there's like the shopping center, right? And there's in the shopping center, there's like all kinds of stuff. There's a TJ Maxx, there's a Subway, there's like a liquor store, there's some kind of burger joint, just some basic shit. And then the very back, in like the corner, in this dark fucking part of the thing, is a Domino's pizza. Okay. I don't eat Domino's. I think it tastes like shit. It's definitely like the cheapest delivery pizza, right?
You shut your mouth, all right?
You like Domino's?
It's just always when I'm living in somewhere that's isolated, it's the only fucking thing.
Exactly.
So, like,
yeah, that's what I mean.
I just become accustomed to it.
Well,
just like,
you know what I do? Not to get sidetracked, but what I do like from Domino's, they have those little like the flatbread sandwiches. Those are pretty good, actually.
those shits are fine.
I can't lie at that.
I'll be honest. That's actually I really don't get pizza that much. So
yeah, they have like a habanero chicken one that's pretty good. I can't lie on that. But anyway, so but the point I was getting at, whether you like it or not, it's definitely like the cheapest delivery pizza, right? Out of Pizza Hut, Papa John's, and all them, it's the cheapest one. It's like $5 for a fucking $5.99 for a pizza, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so in the parking lot of this Domino's, you know how the Domino's or any pizza place, they have the little thing on top of their car that has like the emblem of the pizza place?
Yeah, the magnetic fucking.
Are you familiar with that? Okay.
Yeah.
So in the fucking.
Once I'm familiar with it, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll debate that later. But right now, so as I'm driving through though, the car with the fucking magnet on top is a fucking Porsche Cayenne.
What?
Yeah. Which is like, if you're not familiar with cars, it's like $100,000 fucking Porsche. And it's like a new one. It's it was like a sleek, like silver black color. So I'm like, wait a minute. Who the fuck is delivering pizzas in a Porsche Cayenne? And then I'm thinking like, wait a minute. Does that mean there's no, like, that jobs, it's that dire right now? That this guy had like a girl had a decent job, got fired, and was like, I got to deliver pizzas, got to pay for this Porsche. You know what I mean? Or how does that happen? What's the other option? They make enough money delivering pizzas. They're selling drugs. That's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe they're drug dealing.
Yeah.
But if you're drug dealing, you're not. But the thing is, if you're drug dealing, you're not doing a good job because that's a dead giveaway. If you're a cop riding through there, that's raising an eyebrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's usually that's usually how it works. I don't know. Maybe the other people got laid off. It's the manager. He's got to fucking deliver pizzas.
Oh, that's true. But even so, fucking listen to yourself, man. You think a manager of a Domino's has enough money to buy a fucking Porsche?
No.
They're making like $30,000 a year. Exactly.
Yeah.
Tough. But so I thought that was odd. I'll keep an eye on that. I'll see. And then I was thinking like maybe it's a rental. Maybe he's just balling out for a weekend or
Or
something.
a young kid and it's his parents and he just has to
Oh,
work.
I do live in like a pretty fancy area, so that could be that could definitely be possible.
Just take the Cayenne.
Yeah, whatever. I'll keep the Ferrari. You take the Cayenne for delivering pizzas.
Yeah. You need to learn some work ethic.
So have you been watching the NBA playoffs at all? You said
I did. It seemed like every game besides the Nets just getting their ass kicked kind of went the same. You kind of thought the underdog was going to win, and then nope at the end.
Well, the Magic did beat the Bucks today.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the
Game
games
one.
today. I seen the games yesterday.
Yeah, the
Celtics
Magic.
look good.
The Magic pretty much. Yeah, the Celtics did look good, even though they lost Hayward. Looks like for about a month, so that sucks.
For a month for an ankle sprain.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
What a bitch.
I think that they can still beat the Sixers without him, but it's going to be beating anybody else is going to be tough without him. He was so good for them last few weeks.
Yeah, and this shit's like bang, 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 bang. Like there's no
yeah.
dragging it out for 2 weeks.
So what's interesting with the Magic beating the Bucks is they pretty much it wasn't like they were like the sneaky. They came back at the end. The Bucks took their foot off the gas pedal. The Magic dominated the entire game. They were up by at one point. They were up by like 16, and then the Bucks made it close, and the Magic ended up winning by 12. So it was never a close game. And Giannis was good, which is back to what we talked about before. It sucks because Jonathan Isaac he's like one of the best wing defenders in the league or up and coming. And that was a big thing. It's like he's going to be able to, slow Giannis down a little bit. He's out of the series. You know what I mean? He's out.
Yeah.
So even without him, he had 32, so or 31. He still had a good game. But like, if you're the Bucks, you can't. They were without Aaron Gordon and Jonathan Isaac. You can't lose that game. And it was 122 to 110. So they give 122 points. The Bucks are supposed to be the best defensive team in the league. I mean, the Magic are not blowing people out. You know what I mean? 122 points is a shitload of points.
They're all scoring points, though.
I was going to say, I know in the bubble, the averages have gone up a little bit. But you know what I saw today, which is interesting about that, is it's because with the arenas they're in, right? They were saying shooting threes, you have a better backdrop. There's not fans and colors behind you. It's just like a dead solid color, so it's a little bit easier to concentrate on the hoop when you're shooting. And granted, the threes for every team have gone up, so shooting is a little bit easier. Not as much.
I think a lot of it's just people not having to play in front of a crowd, especially these young guys.
Oh, for sure.
That's big. There's no pressure. You can just lock in.
See, though, I feel like, and this isn't even like any breaking news, I feel like young guys don't feel the pressure. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like the older guys that haven't got the ring yet, those are the ones that feel the pressure the most. Like, we've got to win this game. They know what's at stake. These young guys are too, like, ignorant to it. This is their first time being here. They just don't, sometimes I can see them choke under pressure, but that's just someone that's always going to choke under pressure. You know what I mean? You don't grow into that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's. I could agree with you on regular season, but like when the playoffs come into effect, defenses get faster. The crowd gets louder. People.
That's everything.
Every caught in the lights, dude.
Yeah, and every possession matters. In a regular season game, you throw the ball away in a meaningless possession in the third quarter. It's whatever. In these playoff games, you do that, and then now you're down by 2 or something, and then you can never get back, and it's just back and forth the whole game, and things get highlighted a lot more. So I guess that's true.
So, do you think this is LeBron's like last year to get one?
Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
No, I think if he, I think he needs to get one this year because I don't think he can.
I think he is going to get it this year.
And I think if he does, he can get another one. But I think if he misses it, he's not going to get more.
I think that he's at the stage now where he knows that he needs to build a better team around him than he has in years past. There was those years in Cleveland where there was nobody there. He was dominating. So even those last few years in Cleveland before he just came over to the Lakers, I mean, after Kyrie, they went to the finals without Kyrie the next year. Like, they sucked, and he carried him there, and then I think they got swept. But getting him that far was impressive. I think that with Anthony Davis, I think he's just going to get better as long as he can stay healthy. They have some young guys. Kuzma's pretty good, but I think that more guys are going to come. They had the money to sign Kawhi as well, so they're going to build the team around him. I think that the Lakers being the Lakers, they're like, they have him for 4 years. This is year 2. So they have at least 2 more years. They're like, we're going all in. And they've done it in the past. They've shown that they do that. So I don't know. From what I've seen so far, it's interesting that it's going to be the Blazers because I feel like the Blazers do match up well with the Lakers in round one, but I just don't see them beating them. I could see them winning a game or two. Actually, I think the Lakers are going to sweep just because I think LeBron's going to come out in just beast mode, and I don't think they have anybody that can slow down LeBron. I think that's what
Yeah.
they're talking about. Everybody's talking about how the Lakers have no answer for Dame, and that's true. But you can throw bodies at Dame. You can't
Yeah.
throw bodies at LeBron. He's going to go right through you. So
Yeah.
we'll see what
How
happens
about
with that.
how about do you watch the Utah game? It was
The overtime one.
yeah, I missed the overtime. I ended up going out, but the Donovan Mitchell was interesting. He looked
Yeah.
good. He
I
looked
think
real good.
he's going to end up on the Celtics. I think.
Really,
I think
Marcus
so.
Smart.
No, I think they're just going to keep everybody. I think Hayward's the one that expires this year, so probably Hayward would probably be out of there. And then I think they're just going to run a small lineup. I think it basically would be insurance for Kemba because his knee and he hasn't really looked. He's looked good, but he hasn't looked like the player he was last year or the year
Yeah.
before. He was all NBA type level player. But
That'd be crazy if they get Donovan Mitchell. That'd be
well,
nuts.
the reason I say that is because they're all in the bubble together. And Jaylen Brown, shooting guard for the Celtics, he posted a picture and they were at the pool together. And Jaylen Brown said on Instagram, he said, I keep running into Spider. That's like Donovan Mitchell's nickname. And he was filming him or whatever, and they did some bullshit back and forth. And then later in the day, Jason Tatum or Donovan Mitchell posted a picture of him in high school someone found on Twitter. And he said, I'm never getting my hair cut again because he was like bald. It was all shiny and shit. And then Jason Tatum quote tweeted it and said, yeah, this haircut's not for everybody or whatever. And they had a jolly old good laugh between pals. So I think there's some tampering going on.
Yeah, that's what I say. I think this is some
He's a
tampering,
free
yeah.
agent. I could see that move. I feel like that's a very Celtics-like move to just have a bunch of fucking guards with the
Yeah, I know.
doing
It's
that kind of
crazy.
stuff. So I could see that.
Jaylen Brown looks good, man. His shot is.
Him and Jason
improved.
Tatum, man, if they just stick together for their careers,
I know.
that could be one of those dynamic duos. I think they could seriously, and like obviously, I live here in Orlando, grew up here in Orlando. I'm a Magic fan, but I do have a spot for the Celtics. I like the Celtics. Paul Pierce was my favorite player growing up after Penny.
Mhm.
So I mean, I do like the Celtics. I do keep if the Magic are out, I will root for the Celtics, and I always keep my eye on them just because of that. But I think they can win it this year. I really do think they can.
I was thinking that too, and what they remind me of is like, I think that the OKC situation kind of taught everybody don't pull the trigger too quick
exactly
because these dudes could develop and turn into something serious.
Well, and you're exactly right because they were in serious talks to get Anthony Davis, but the New Orleans wanted either Tatum or Brown, and they decided to back out, and that looks like it was the right move right now. But you know what they remind me of? They remind me of the 2001, 2002 Pistons. Just like everybody contributes, they play good defense.
That's
they don't play as
analogy.
They don't play as good of defense as the Pistons did. And they don't
have that Ben Wallace, man.
Exactly. I was gonna say their big man is what's his name, Thias or whatever.
Yeah,
Taco Fall comes in there.
Yeah,
no, but in the future, but
still ain't gonna be no Ben Wallace. That guy.
No, it's not. Yeah. But still, I think
anti-Shaq.
They have a very similar style of play. I think Tatum is a little bit more explosive than Richard Hamilton ever was. But I don't know. They don't shoot as many threes. They do. I mean, everybody shoots more threes now.
Yeah.
But I could see them just like surprising everybody, especially if the Magic could beat the Bucks, then the Celtics are. Who's going to stop them?
Anything's possible in the bubble, baby.
I know, it's crazy. What else you got? What do you got going on?
Not shit. I'm tired as fuck from flying back. And
you flew?
Yeah, I flew back 2 flights because I was at like a regional airport, and I can't sleep the night before a flight, so I got an hour of sleep. Had to drive back an hour from the airport when I got back to Colorado. It's just brutal.
What was the airport like traveling right now?
It's funny you say that. It just reminded me because when I was going through the Minneapolis airport, I was telling the people when I arrived, it was the creepiest thing because I felt like I was in fucking, The Shining. I'm walking because have you been to the Minneapolis airport?
No.
It's huge. It's the biggest. It's got to be the biggest airport in the country, and it's really nice. But they have this thing called the Skywalk, and it's probably like a solid quarter mile of just the walking tracks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me in the hallway.
Yeah.
And all the restaurants are closed down. There's not a lot of people in there. It's just super like zombie apocalypse, like
Yeah.
zombie like. Doo-doo-doo.
How many people were on your flight?
Oh, it's all quarter capacity. It's great. You get a whole row to yourself.
Nice.
You don't get treated like cattle anymore. It's pretty sweet.
Do you remember when we flew to California from Orlando? Do you remember when we flew from Phoenix to San Jose? We were the only two people on the plane.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That's the only time it's ever happened to me. But I remember they were like, it was like the only reason that flight took off is because we were on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we got to take these two fucks to San Jose. And it was like a 737. That was a big plane. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a little tiny fucking jet. It was a big plane.
The second plane I was on wasn't the tiniest jet I've been on a Delta flight. Even when I was living in North Dakota, it was still like a solid number of rows. This one was like 11 rows, Motherfuckers landed it. It's like shaking down to the ground.
Those are tough. I flew one of those from Louisville, Kentucky to North Carolina, coming back to Orlando from Kentucky. I flew from there. So from Louisville to, and remember, we learned when we lived there, that's how you pronounce it. It's Louisville, not Louisville.
Yeah, exactly.
So I took from Louisville, I think it was like the Muhammad Ali Airport is what it was called or whatever. I took it from there to North Carolina, but the plane, and the jet though, check this out. So you walk into this is a small airport, you know what I'm saying? So you walk into the like the metal detectors, and I go, hey, where's gate 2 or whatever? And the guy points like 5 feet from me. He's like, right there. So I was like, this is the airport? This is it? This is the whole airport? This is like the entrance. He's like, no, this is it, man. So I walk over. I sit down. There's like 5 to 10 other people sitting, and I'm like, "Are there people? Am I late? Are there people on the plane already?" So it opens up. They say now boarding or whatever. We walk through the entrance, like this little like door, and we're on the runway. And we walk up, and the stairs come down from the plane. The 5 to 10 of us or whatever get on the plane. There's literally like 12 seats in this fucking plane. There was one row on each side, and there's like 12 seats, right? And when you get on, I can see out my window. There's a guy 5 feet from me throwing bags under the plane. I'm like,
the little ones, man.
Holy shit. Yeah, I'm like, holy shit. So we go to take off, and when you're in like a big plane or passenger plane or whatever, you barely even feel the liftoff. You feel like that sensation where like you bump a little bit and you take off, whatever, but you just kind of just float casually into the air. And this motherfucker, it was like you were on a four-wheeler that went over a cliff. You know what I mean? It was just all of a sudden you were like on the runway, and then it was like bump, and it just you popped up in the air, and you feel it. I mean, you're back in your seat. You feel getting pulled into, like, it just feels like this place. We shouldn't be doing this. This doesn't feel safe at all, And the whole time it's just shaking like this. You're looking out your window. It's just up and down the entire. You feel every bump. And then I land in North Carolina. It's pouring rain. They open again. We're on the runway. They open up. They walk us to the North Carolina airport is one of the biggest ones in the country in Charlotte. And
really, is it a shithole?
No, it's nice. They have a fucking like a big ass mall in there, and it's crazy. Which felt kind of like with everything that happened with 9/11, that this would even be a thing. You can like come into the airport, like, oh, I just want to go to the mall. It's a mall built around an airport. You know what I mean? Like it's not like only for passengers. It's for like you can just drive up and go to the mall airport or the airport mall, So there was a ton of fucking people, and I was so confused and whatever. I walked through, and then of course though the plane that's only 40 minutes, the one from fucking Charlotte to Orlando, is this gigantic. There's 4 rows across. If you don't even feel the plane, you're like, are we in the air right now? Have we even taken off?
Yeah.
Those ones are the best. Those are they're probably the most unsafe apparently, but they're just the most comfortable.
It was pretty wild in the airport I was in today. There was like as many TSA agents as people on the plane, and they're like patting down like every geriatric. It's just like, what do you think these people are gonna do?
Yeah,
like take because like the that little radar thing, it like pops up, like I think it picks up like moisture and shit too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if these old people are just sweating a lot or what, but like the last 3 people in front of me, it was crazy. Like they're 90 years old and they're checking every crevice of these people. I mean, what do you think? This chick's running cocaine to Minnesota? What the fuck is going on here?
Like, I saw once. I was flying to Boston. We were flying to Boston, and we get to Boston, and then the airport we landed in was Logan International Airport.
Yeah.
So we get there. It's like
it's kind of a shithole.
It is a shithole. And actually, every time since we've flown into the one in New Hampshire or Vermont and just drive in. It's just nicer, Manchester or whatever. So then, anyways, we spend the week in Boston. On our way back, I come in and it was like 30 something degrees in Boston. In Florida it was 80. So I was like, I had a jacket on, and as soon as I get to the airport, I go to take my jacket off, and these guys like rushed me, not rushed me, like tackled me, but they came up to me and said, "You need to leave your jacket on." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, do not take your jacket off until you get through the line and you are sitting outside your gate. So like, what the fuck is the problem? So then I get up there and I'm like complaining the whole time. I'm like, these motherfuckers. I take my fucking jacket off.
I know my rights, bro.
Exactly. I'm being that douchebag. So then I get through. And I get to the front. Of course, they want to search me now because I'm being a dickhead. So they search me or whatever. They pat me down. They make me take off my belt buckle and my shoes. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what are we doing? So then, whatever, we get up, we get into the plane, and this whole time I'm just like bitching and complaining. And then it like hit me like a ton of bricks. Logan International Airport is where one of the planes from 9/11 that hit the Twin Towers. That's where it came from.
Is it?
It is. So I'm like, fuck. It did. Yeah, exactly. But I was like, fuck, I'm being a douchebag. It's like one of those things. It's like your worst day at work. That can never happen again. You know what I mean? They had a really bad day. So they're extra cautious, so that's why. So I'm like, damn, I'm being a douchebag. It's like if you had someone like fall and break their leg on the line at work, every day you have to take extra precautions. They had 2,000 people get killed because they didn't take the proper precautions. So I get why they were being douchebags, and I was like, man, I was so out of line. But speaking of that, on that same flight, though, the reason I remembered this, there was a lady that had 2 prosthetic legs, and they made her take them off, and she was like on the ground on her little nubs, and I was like, or is that who we need to be worrying about? The lady with no legs that she might hijack the plane with her fucking prosthetics? Like, come on.
Really, she's got like an ounce of heroin inside the leg.
It's just like that movie, like Planet Terror, where it's just a machine gun when she takes it off, as a leg. Like, terrible.
Wait, so she had to put the prosthetics through the X-ray?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. She had to take them both off and put them on the thing, and then she was like alone. She wasn't with anybody, so she was just like on her hands and her nubs, and she had to like scoot through. Like,
what if they didn't put them through the X-ray? Just like gave them back to her on the other side.
Yeah, they're like, hey, watch this. Hey, man, we need you to take those legs off, just in case.
We just don't like, they take your belt off or whatever.
Yeah. There's, it goes to like the machine or whatever, and it goes around about and it comes back. There's 2 guys in the back just doing like boot beers out of their fucking prosthetic leg.
That'd be fucking great.
You know what?
Some of these fucking people at the TSA, I wouldn't put it fucking past these scumbags.
No, they're terrible, man. The other thing is like, all right, and again, I get it. I get the whole, can't have a bad day at work thing again. But they're such dicks all the time. It's like you can, you don't gotta be a douchebag to me. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
Why do you be a dick to me?
And it's like funny, you're about to break like international law or whatever. The stakes are always higher in an airport, right?
Exactly.
And the qualifications just get lower. It's
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you see out of both your eyeballs? You're higher.
Yeah. These people just get to decide your fate on like, a capital crime or something. It's fucking ridiculous.
So have you ever been on a flight where the marshal had to reveal himself?
No, I haven't.
I have. That was fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
it was because well, so this was probably like 2015 or 2016, so it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
But there was something going on. It was another one of those big ass fucking 4 rows across,
Yeah.
And I'm in like all the way back, and there's some kind of commotion up front. So I get up to like walk, like just to like, it sounded loud. Like this wasn't like an argument. This was like something, there was a fight going on or something. So I was like, what's going on? Cause I want, I'm always paranoid. I hate flying. I absolutely hate flying. So I kind of like peek up to see what's going on up there. And this one guy is just on top of this other guy's beating the shit out of him. And people are trying to hold him back, like pull him off of this guy. And he had to reveal himself as air marshal. So I guess what happened was the guy got like belligerent and drunk and was trying to open the fucking door of the plane to get out, like the emergency door.
No way.
Yeah, he was just like hammered. He didn't know what he was doing. And he was just, I don't know if he was on drugs or whatever, but I guess he was trying to like open, like, I gotta go. Was just trying to open the door.
Thought it was the bathroom.
Something, exactly. He didn't even know where the fuck he was. And they tried to get him off, and he just like, it was like a stewardess tried to like, a female stewardess tried to like stop him, and he just decked her. So then,
Damn.
yeah, so then the air marshal had to get up and fucking arrest him or whatever. But it was crazy because he was beating the shit out of the guy because
So
the
it
guy was
wasn't the
fighting back.
door. Yeah, it wasn't the door. He's just because he decked it.
I
Yeah.
think he was already making his way, but he wasn't going to reveal
Oh.
himself. You know what I mean? He was just going to like calm the situation and sit the guy down, and then maybe tell
Yeah.
the flight attendant, because I guess the flight attendants probably know who the air marshal is. But
Yeah, I imagine you see him, right?
exactly.
Maybe. I don't know how any of that
So
shit works.
so he was probably not going to reveal himself, but then when he hit the lady, so then he just started fighting with him. But then people were stopping him. They're like, "Hey man, leave him alone," you know? Like, and he was like, "Get the fuck back," you know? He pulled his badge out. I don't know if he had a gun on him. I didn't see if he had a gun on him or not. But that was pretty crazy. And then they ended up having to like land the plane. They had to like land the plane. That was the only time that ever happened to me.
It's pretty wild.
Where did they land? I don't remember. Like Atlanta, I think.
I haven't really seen any like the degenerate behavior on
No.
a plane yet. I mean, you get on like a Frontier flight, Spirit flight.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll fucking see it.
So I've never flown. I've only been to Vegas once, and it was with you, and we drove from San Francisco to Vegas. But I do want to fly from next time I go. I want to fly from Orlando to Vegas because it's like a 5-hour flight, and I heard people just fucking get loaded the whole flight
yeah.
because you're going on vacation. You're going to Vegas. You're going there for one thing, to party. So everyone there is in the same mindset, So everyone's just having a good time. It's like a party plane.
Yeah.
I wish they would bring that shit back because they used to have like promotions like that where it was like all you could drink on the plane. I guess they probably shouldn't bring that back.
No. You kidding me, dude? It's ridiculous. It's already ridiculous. People just fight. I feel like people are fighting all the time on planes.
Yeah. Well, that's because these. Again, this is this point has been beat to death, but they sell the tickets for flight. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me how they can sell tickets for flights that are already booked and just hope people don't show up. And then if they don't show up, you're like, I paid for it. I have plans. What if you're going there for like a funeral and you can't be a day late? You know what I mean? Or you're flying in on a tight schedule. Like I work Monday through Friday and I only have Saturday is the only day I can be there. I have to be back Sunday night. Like, you know what I mean? And they're just like, well, sorry, we overbooked it. Like, how does that happen? It's 2020. So
I tried to rebook, or I tried to hop. You can't hop on the second leg of a flight. I drove down to Denver and I was already there. I didn't want to take. They trying to charge me $2,000 to eliminate a leg of the flight. A ticket they could resell. It was so crazy. I kept asking for the manager. I was just pulling that, like ask. Just give me. They kept passing me to another person. I finally get this lady and I'm just talking as much shit as I could. I know this isn't going my way.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
definitely not going.
At that point, it's just you got to go nuclear.
Yeah, I was just talking as much shit as I can, pissing this lady off, and she just. I knew it was coming. I don't know if they're trained to do this, but she brought it back to like 9/11. The reason she couldn't change my ticket. It was just the most insane situation I've ever been in. It was so wild.
Well, also, so you flew this weekend, right? How strict were they with IDs and stuff? Because I've heard that they're not really checking people's shit face to face right now.
No, they check the IDs. They got this new thing that you put.
It's like a blue light, right? And you put it in there.
I don't know. I go to give it to the lady, and she's like, "No, put it right there." I'm like, what the fuck are you doing now? Why are you even here? But it used to be something they did, and now I got to do it. And I was just looking at it like, this is your job gone. In 3 months, it's just going to be the machine.
Exactly, and then it'll open up, and I can go through.
Yeah.
Like right now, she's just there to make sure you do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually, it gets to a point where there's like a door there, and you can't get in the door if you don't do it.
Where it's the fucking self-service line at fucking Walmart. It's just one person overseeing 5 registers.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I was in I need a TV mount for my TV in here. And I'm at fucking Target, and they were, I understand everything that's going on, right? But the only lines they had open were the self-service lines, the only lines. And there's 10, 15 people deep in line. And granted, there's 4 registers up there. There's 4 of them. But why are that? So I brought up the point. I was like, hey, how come no registers there's no human registers open? Like, not one.
Yeah.
And then they have like people just standing around watching the fucking self-serve things. And it's like, listen, I get it, but we need somebody. Like, there's a huge line. You can see that. If you're in a gas station and there's 2 people working and there's a huge line, the other person hops on the other register. Like, it's pretty common practice. He does that anywhere in retail, And she's like, well, with the ongoing pandemic, we don't want human interaction. I'm like, what are you talking about? At this point, I'm already taking the risk. Out. Exactly. It's like I'm already taking the risk being in here. You think the difference between me walking by you or you ringing up my shit is going to make a difference? Like,
I feel like they're all pulling that now. You can just talk.
How are masks at the airport? Are people wearing masks?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's just kind of, everybody's just turning into a robot. I don't fucking know. Who knows? Who knows where this is going? Next,
I
you could
want.
all be wearing fucking green shoes in this North Korea. I don't know.
So, one last little point to send us home here before we get out of here. So I think I'm. This is so crazy. Did you see the clip of Mark Zuckerberg speaking Mandarin?
Yeah, I seen that a long time ago.
Yeah, so I've never seen that until I saw it. That's what it was. Tim Dillon was on Joe Rogan. I heard him talking about
Yeah,
it. So his wife is Chinese. She speaks Mandarin, and they met in college, and he has learned Mandarin like through because he wants his kids to learn Mandarin or whatever, right? So I started looking into that a little bit. It seems like he's been like sidestepping the government to make deals with China. Not on anything major yet,
definitely.
but he's building the relationship.
Of
And then I
course.
didn't even think about it. But now I'm reading the stuff like that. This guy could run for president in a few years, and it's like, would you trust him as president?
Nobody is voting for that guy. The people who use this product don't even like the product. They just addicted to it.
I don't know how it's still.
It's a casino slot machine.
I don't understand how it's still profitable.
Because there's still eyeballs on it. These people can't
So
help
crazy,
themselves.
It is. I will say that of the three main social medias, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Facebook definitely, like, the operating system does run the smoothest, but like there's never any crashes. But it's like the product itself stinks. Like, it stinks. It's a bad.
And ruins your
all
life.
it is exactly, and all it is like, and that's the thing with Twitter. I feel like it's more like a news source, or like you get to hear from people you normally wouldn't interact with, like celebrities, or
It's the public square.
it's public square. That's a great way to put it. And then Instagram is more of like a visual, like pictures. It's like, oh, you see how your family is doing. I think that's all you need. But these rants and shit and links and fucking shit on Facebook just drive me nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I can't go on there anymore. The only reason I even have it is because I have a lot of family overseas, and it's to stay in touch with them, just so I have like a way
Yeah.
to contact them if something happens. Like, hey, grandma died or something. Here's how to how the serve, like that. Literally that. Like, if emergency happens, to get in contact with these family members that are spread out around the world, around the country. But like, I don't get these people that sit on there all day and they're posting fucking
No.
conspiracy theories or fucking pictures that
See,
it's like,
I haven't been on it in probably 8 years.
Yeah.
But, it's just, the great thing about, I won't say great, but the thing that makes Twitter and Instagram more attractive is the limitations of it.
Of course.
You can't do as much. I don't want to hear your bullshit.
Yeah. Well, also, and Instagram is a product of Facebook. Facebook owns Instagram. So to me, it's just like,
Yeah.
I think
Boss antitrust move.
but I feel like that the Facebook has to be profitable. I'm calling it the Facebook, like
I
I'm
know.
someone's fucking grandma. I feel like Facebook has to be.
Fuck.
I know, you know what it is. I watched Social Network last night, and that was the original name of it, was the
Yeah.
Facebook. Anyways, because the way it started was it was something called the Facebook, and it was just it would put like two guys' pictures, right, and you picked which one was hotter, and then it'd be two more guys, and you pick which one's hotter, and then pick two more guys, and you
Yeah.
pick which, and it would do that so they could find the hottest guy on campus. That's how the fucking that company started.
The beginning
So-
of like Tinder.
Exactly. Basically what it was. You're right. Anyway, so Facebook must be like insanely profitable, which obviously it is. We all know that because he's the fourth richest man in the world. But for them to not change anything, I just feel like with everything that happened with the election, with Britannica, whatever, the fucking spy software, who's regulating this guy's reach and what he's able to do? Now he has a cryptocurrency that runs through Facebook.
Nobody,
think
but that's why he's allowed to do what he does, is
I
because
know.
he doesn't regulate it. He just treats it as a distribution center.
Exactly. And that
Which is how it
worries me.
should be.
So
It should be
but
like
listen,
that.
maybe this is me getting old, but for years I was just like, who fucking cares what this guy does with his money? Who cares? But now that I'm starting to see, he's been in Congress and having to testify for all these things. When that was happening live a few years ago, I never paid it any mind because it was just like, this is so stupid. They had the guy from Facebook up there talking and he was giving them shitty answers. But now I'm starting to see that as like nefarious. I'm starting to see that as like he has too much power, which sounds crazy because The same thing's
So-
happening with Jeff Bezos too, where it's just like where do we draw the line here? Where it's like you can't have this
Oh.
much influence and power you're going to rule the world.
Yeah,
You know,
that's the whole antitrust thing.
I
You know,
know.
it's why it's called that. It's because they get so big, you can't trust them.
Yeah.
You know, they hold all the information. Yeah, it's fucked up, and they do need to shut it down and break them all up.
But why? But that's the other thing. To be devil's advocate here, why should they have to? If you created something and you get that vastly popular exposure, money, why can they tell you what you can and can't do? They shouldn't be able to.
Because then
You know what I mean?
because then you turn into monarchies with kings. It's like that's what
So
the
Mark Zuckerberg is going to be king, is what you're saying?
if you have that much money and you can control all the information,
Yeah.
everybody knows you can sculpt opinion.
Of course, they did.
And that's how it starts.
Yeah.
They've shown in studies that if they just change the first 3 results that pop up on Google, because
Changes everything.
they've done it in other countries, you can swing an election. You can swing a whole election. Just
Not
through
even
Google.
election. I mean, it's more of like, I mean, for sure you can do it with the election, but it's more like a brainwash to the psyche of the country, of the world, you know, because it's like if you're looking when I Google something, I'm usually looking for like an answer to something that I don't know, right? And I'm going off of other people's opinions or other people's ideas. And if the first 3 that pop up are, you know, something that I'm just going to assume that's the correct answer. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that works. So that
Well-
if I have, it's like an algebra problem. If I have 1 + x = 2, and I type that into Google and it gives me x = 1, okay, that answers my question. That must be it. You know what I mean? So like Google has this crazy power where they can sculpt literally the minds of people, and that goes way deeper to me than the election. You know, election, who gives a fuck who's in, you know, at the top, you know?
Well,
So-
now not only that, they're also crushing like independent websites as well. Because
Of
now when you
course.
type shit into Google, Google just answers it instead
Yeah.
of you going to the website. It's just that little box at the top where
Yeah.
it answers. It just pulls it from their website. They don't get the traffic. Google gets all the ad revenue.
Exactly. I was wondering about that because when I was looking up a movie, and when I typed in the movie, like you said, it doesn't go to like results for websites. It just gives you like, this is the movie, how many stars it has on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, the cast. It has everything right there now. So you don't
Yeah.
even need to click Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb. You don't.
No,
So I feel like that should be
another boss move.
Yeah. You're right. Whoever came up with that is fucking brilliant because that's
Yeah, but that's
all you
also
need,
that's why that's a monopoly. They can crush anybody with anything.
yeah.
You can't have your own business anymore.
So let's close on a solid note here, or I guess
All
like
right.
a brighter note here. What do you have? What do you have planned up for the upcoming week? What do you got going on in the life of Malcolm right now?
I gotta do a couple things for this new job, and then
So you took the job?
this is with a different company. I'm not gonna say who or what,
Okay.
just because the nature of it.
Yeah.
But
You're working for the CIA. We know.
Yeah, exactly. I am Q. That should be the new fucking meme. I am Q. Not we are. I am.
I am.
Yeah. And then I went to the DMV today, and it was actually pretty seamless. Pretty sharp.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Well, they
I
got-
do all my shit online now.
Well, when it actually expires, you have to go back. And then
No,
just hit the-
sir. Not me.
No,
Yeah,
not renewal. Like
Not-
actual 10-year
Mine expired.
expiration.
Yes, that's what just happened to me.
You're a liar.
I swear to God.
I'm just kidding.
I'll go get it for you. So what happened with me though is a few times ago I went to the DMV, and if you I don't know how it is in Colorado, but in Florida, if you show your social security card, your birth certificate, and there's like a third identification thing you need, I don't remember what it is. If you show all 3, they put a star on your license, and you can do anything. You can do anything online after that forever.
Mhm.
They're verifying that this is you, and you don't need to do anything else. I think that there is one thing where you have to go in to take a test, like to make sure you can still drive after like 65. But I think that's it. Other than that, I'd never have to go to the DMV again.
That's
to get-
ageism, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me because like I know 65-year-olds that,
78, be president, no test.
but to get your fucking driver's license renewed. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. We ran a little late on this one. But thank you guys for tuning in. This
Yeah.
one was a little bit slower paced because we're still both hurting a little bit. And
Yeah.
like I said, we missed a lot of stuff. We missed a lot of stuff we wanted to talk about because it already kind of passed by. So I do want to announce that we will be back Thursday night, Friday morning, and we're back on schedule where we'll be out after this. We'll be out Mondays and Fridays again. And then what are we thinking for the special episode? First week of September? Another one of the special ones?
I don't know. I was thinking like finance or Bitcoin or something seems to be a hot topic right now.
Yeah. So, but when do you want to do that? First week
Uh,
of September? Maybe we'll do it every first week of the month.
yeah. That'll
Okay.
work.
Cool. All right, so we'll get back, and we'll obviously keep you guys more detail on that. But follow the Instagram, and again, thank you so much for everybody that followed. We did have a pretty big jump on the Instagram last week, so thank you so much to everybody that follows on the Instagram. Please go and follow the Twitter. That's again, I hate to be the broken record here, but that one helps so much because it's so much easier for us to send you the information so you can stay up to date with the show. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram at scam_podcast, and then email us some questions for us to where we're going to be recording here in a few days. Podcastgame@gmail.com. Malcolm, any final thoughts?
I got nothing.
Sweet. All right, man. I'll see you in a few days.
All right. See ya.
Later, guys.